Hello. So I'm going to do a quick history lesson um, that is basically on human history and people groups and how people have acted over centuries and uh, just quickly to get a grasp of how humans interact with each other. And at the end of the video, the conclusion or the morale of this lesson will be um, are you living for love or not? Or is love a part of your life or not? Because everything will make sense when I connect it back once I go through what I'm about to go through. So for instance, I started the map over here on the old world because this section is the old world, generally centering here, but then of course spreading out. So this is the old world. Western hemisphere is the new world per se, so I'm not really going to touch that, but I can talk about it quickly. But let's start here. And so it was about how people have warred against each other and hated each other. And I remember actually listening to a comedian, I think his name was Paul Mooney, and he says nobody hates like family. And it's deep because if you think about it, every border in the old countries, every country, then there's a border, whatever's next to it, there's the peoples are very similar to that next country. And it gradually changes. So for instance, like if you look, let's say Syria, so the Syrians are very similar to the Iraqis. And you go to the next, maybe the Iraqis are very similar to the Iranians, right? And the Iranians will be similar to Afghani, Pakistani will be similar to the Indians, etc., right? Because of just that's how people settled, and you have to look at them as tribes and how they settled. And the reason they even have maybe a border is just it's basically borders just mean people disagreed, and because they had issues with one another, so we've created borders in that sense. When the funny thing is we're all from the same source, so we should not hate, we should love, and borders should not necessarily exist. But because there's so much, you know, of course there's religion and political and all these type of issues, people create division and they can't seem to see the origin, which is love. Again, this is why I'm doing this video, for love. So for instance, uh, Germany, let's start with Germany, talking, which is more recent, 70 something years ago, for the Second World War. Who did they hate on the most? It's their neighboring partners, the people that would be family to them. So like the Poland, you got these sections here, the Slovaks, right? Slovakia and whatnot. So Germany, again, these are all, in a sense, tribal groups. But because there's differences, they're having an issue, so they want to make war. So they make war with their neighboring peoples. They don't go Germany didn't fly and come and go to Africa. No, they have nothing in common. They deal with what's next to them. So it's like family issue, dealing with Poland, fighting. Uh, Recently I was thinking about Turkey and Armenia. Look, right beside each other. You know, again, it could be tribal family. Go back in time. They're very similar peoples. There's warring amongst from Turkey. And again, these are the aggressors. Turkey is the aggressor. Germany's an aggressor, right? Uh, China, China and Mongolia, right? They've had their issues. Again, they're neighboring countries, tribal peoples, similar way of life, but they war. And so these are just some points I'm trying to show about tribes and how people have settled and made war with one another. And it's not, it should never really have happened, to be honest. But let's see. Oops. Oh yeah, and then okay, so exactly. So and then another point to be made: the aggressor. Every time there's an aggressor, they always have gotten some kind of judgment on them. Now, I don't really know what Turkey has got, because I know that they killed so many Armenians and it's disgusting. But I don't know what happened, if Turkey ever got a judgment or it's coming. I don't even know. But Germany definitely got judged. You know, it did what it did. It got, World War II. It lost. It got judged. Thinking about even the aggressor when it comes to the United States coming into World War II, Japan bombing Pearl Harbor. Well, Japan got a judgment. You bombed Pearl Harbor, you were the aggressor. What happened at the end? What was the destiny? What happened later? Japan got a nuclear bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Judgment. Okay. So it's kind of inputs and outputs. What you put out is what you get. If you put out hate, you're going to get hate back. You're going to get blood. You're going to get murder back. If you put out love, you will get love back. Now, it may seem like you're not, but it will. I'm telling you. It's what you put out, your energy. So even in our modern times, like, look, Mexico, there's such an issue with, the United States, Mexico. Again, bordering peoples. It's just so stupid. Why can't we find love and just to love one another, right? The messengers came. Did you get the message though? All of them preach love. So it should be love. It should never be I'm greater and better. No, we should love one another. Okay, build up, get wisdom, get knowledge. Now the scriptures, I believe in the scriptures, so my wisdom is going to come from the scriptures, but it also comes from just straight history. And I'll end it on this, that Israel, the only other peoples that never fought was the Israelites. They were from Israel, scattered into Africa. They were taken as slaves, taken to the west, but they're also taken everywhere. But they never fought back. They're Israelites because they knew the Most High. That's why they don't fight back. That's why they didn't, it's all written in the scriptures. So again, I'm going to end the video and I'm just going to say, does love rule in your heart? Are you of love? And rhetorical question. So just something to think about. All right, peace and shalom.